Welcome into Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals. Nathan Zagura alongside Browns legend Josh Cribbs. And as you can see, for the first time in 2020, Browns football is live at First Energy Stadium. And Josh, it feels so good to be back in this building. You guys are going to see the field looks beautiful. The new uniforms, they're wearing them on offense and on defense. It is a sight for sore eyes just 2 weeks before the Browns kick off the 2020 season in Baltimore.
Yes, and I'm getting goosebumps looking and being down here at the stadium. It feels all too normal to me to be here at this stadium, to see the guys out there running, remembering how it felt to have that first scrimmage, that first team scrimmage at the stadium under your belt. I know the bathroom stalls were full this morning. A lot of those guys are going to be excited to get out there in their stadium. Some of the guys being here for the first time. It's going to be an exciting day for those guys on the field.
No doubt, and the field looks beautiful. You just walking up to the stadium, you're right, it was the goosebumps. And look at the new uniforms. There is your first look at them on our players on the field as you take a look at Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Jarvis and Odell. And this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be more of a typical practice. We're going to see some competitive team elements in there. The quarterbacks obviously still in their orange non-contact jerseys, but we are back at First Energy Stadium, and we are so pumped to be with all of you, the great Browns fans, for Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospital. So we're going to give you all the action from the field today. Our position spotlight's going to look at the defensive standouts throughout training camp that Josh and I have selected a couple of guys we think have really looked good. We'll have Aditi Kinkhabwala for the national perspective from NFL Network, Kareem Hunt mic'd up, and of course we're going to get to your fan questions using the hashtag BrownsLive. As you look at the Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield there, and I know this offense, they've had 3 good days in a row, Josh. We're going to look at the defense, but we've seen some nice things, and I think we hope to see that continue. 4 straight good days for this offense, especially out here at First Energy. And these uniforms look good. They look good.
Yes, they do, and it's reminiscent of the uniforms that I wore when we played here. And, so it's good to see them getting back to the Cleveland tradition, that Cleveland brand, and they updated them a little bit, but it's good to see them out here, man. And today I'm looking for this team in general, not just the offense to find that rhythm and balance, but for the defense to continue to play strong football. If a ball is thrown their way, I don't care who the receiver is. Knock it down if you can. Make those guys on offense that much more better. So I'm looking for the balance of the team today.
Absolutely. Saw David Njoku walking by in his pads. Looks like he will be good to go today, which is a good thing because you want to see all these guys, everybody that you can, get ready here. You're 2 weeks away. And for the players, Josh, when you come to the stadium, you get out of Berea and come here, does it ramp it up a little bit? Does it make it feel much more like a tune-up?
Yes, it does. The excitement, your adrenaline is pumping. I mean, you could almost sense and feel the fans in the stadium, and the fans aren't even here. So you can kind of get that feel of being in the NFL stadium. It's luminous to you. You feel that pressure. So the pressure is on. They know everyone's watching them. So, they're going to do what they can to ramp things up to get game ready.
Before we get started here today at First Energy Stadium, we would like to, we'll get to that in just a second here, but you're right. You can feel it, and you're right. No fans, it's something that I see a lot. I get here at 10 o'clock on game days, and you come in, and the stadium is empty. That's going to be more of the norm. Maybe you're going to see smattering of people, and across the way we can see some of the people filling into that club section and practicing those pods, the good social distancing as the Browns going through some of their protocols to get ready here for the season, for when the games become very, very real. As you see Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield there, the whole team lined up in front of you at First Energy Stadium, and this is obviously going to be something that we're all looking forward to, this practice here, and clearly we're also getting a show of solidarity from the Browns. And now here's head coach Kevin Stefanski with a special message from the Cleveland Browns.
Very appropriate that we're in our home right now. It's also very appropriate that we have our family here with us, because this is our Browns family right here. And this family has some things that are weighing very heavily on their heart. And I want our players, who are so mindful and so intentional about their thoughts, to share those with this city, this community, Northeast Ohio, the football world. So I'm going to hand it over to our players.
We stand in solidarity with all the people within our country who are making the commitment, effort, and sacrifices necessary to demand work towards positive change for the Black community. Over the last 5 days, our team has elevated our engagement on important, deep dialogue that began earlier this offseason. We have expressed frustration, anger, and dismay over the continued struggles and tragedy that are rooted in racism. It has to stop. While we understand and appreciate our unique platform to raise awareness, we believe it is the duty of every American to peacefully stand up, speak out, address injustice, especially those resulting from racial inequities, and ending in violence, as the cases of Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, David McAtee, David Dorn, Rayshard Brooks, Jacob Blake, and far too many others. We cannot be comfortable with any more sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and beloved family members being added to this list. Bringing light and awareness to these issues and incidents is an important first step, but that alone is not nearly enough for true, meaningful change. It comes down to actions we take. The players on this team, along with the support of our ownership and the Browns organization, are committed to the action to be the solution.
Through thoughtful dialogue with the Players Coalition, we have identified the following areas we will work on to become an instrument of change. 1, education. Expand on the work of the Cleveland Browns Foundation by improving resource equality and focusing on closing the digital divide. Police reform and accountability. Engage law enforcement and elected officials to better understand why cops who abuse their power and commit crimes are not arrested and found guilty. Support legislation that ends qualified immunity, holds law enforcement accountable, and addresses the topic of standardized police training and oversight while supporting the noble police officers who honorably fulfill their roles by properly serving their community. Economic advancement and community support. Continue our work to positively impact underserved, primarily Black neighborhoods by empowering the community through supporting Black-owned businesses, improving neighborhood interconnectivity and unity, and helping with basic necessities like food, clothing, and shelter. Nonpartisan voter registration, education, and turnout. We want to help eliminate voter suppression, encourage everyone, starting with ourselves, to actively participate in the democratic process through voting while educating and encouraging our community to take action and participate.
You will see a specific focus in the form of concrete action by our organization, players, staff, and ownership in these areas within Cleveland and Northeast Ohio to spur positive change, necessary change. This is a critical, and we encourage everyone to join us in addressing these issues that continue to hold the Black community and our entire nation back from fully realizing the ideas it was founded upon: equal rights and justice for all.
Incredibly powerful words from the Browns as they open today's practice here at First Energy Stadium. Necessary change, positive change. They want to be instruments of change in education, police reform, economic advancement, and community support. And Josh, I got to tell you, you see the unity from the team, the leadership there. Head coach Kevin Stefanski, quarterback Baker Mayfield, defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, and wide receiver Jarvis Landry. As you see Myles Garrett standing there with Baker, not in pads today, is Miles, but obviously this is something that has been important to these players. They knew that today they had a massive platform to share that with all of you here at First Energy Stadium and their families and friends in attendance, and I think well done. And obviously, hashtag be the solution. That's what it's all about, Josh.
Yes, and they continue to show that it's more than football. They continue to show that they're what the community needs. They show that no matter what, we're standing in unity. And that's one thing that I believe that in times of struggle like this in our country, in our society right now, you need this for people to stand together. Our team is made up of different players, all different races, and they're standing together, all different walks of life. And you see these guys doing what they have to do, not just for themselves and their own family, but for people who see them as heroes in the community and our country. So my hat goes off again to D and Jimmy Haslam and Coach Stefanski for providing this atmosphere for them to show unity so it can show out there on the field come Sunday.
Absolutely. And again, a very positive and powerful and strong start here to today's Browns Live training camp presented by University Hospitals, coming to you from First Energy Stadium. The new uniforms are on the players. Let's get now into our training camp news update brought to you by Carrier. As we said, this is the first time in the stadium since 2019. It seemed like we didn't know when we would be back, if we would be back. And this is that feeling, that injection into the veins, the first real sign that football is coming. And we are only 2 weeks away from the Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And that means we are less than 20 days away from the home opener on Thursday Night Football, the Browns and the Bengals right here at First Energy Stadium.
Yeah, it's exciting to see these guys get prepared, get their minds right, and do the things necessary to put their best team out there on the field. As a fan, which I am now, and to correlate that as a player, it is such a transition for me to not want to go run down there on the field right now and put some pads on. Every time I step into this field, and I know as a fan, our diehard fans feel the same way. They feel that what the players are feeling. They have that inspiration of every diehard player that gives everything to this craft of playing the game of football. When you go out there as a fan and you spend your hard-earned money, you want your team to give their all. So it's a lot on these guys right now. The adrenaline, they're pumped, especially for the young guys. The young guys are trying to make a football team. They're trying to put their best foot forward. Guys are trying to stay healthy. So it's a lot on these guys to not only just show up for themselves and their family, but for this great city and this fan base.
And there's your first look at Donovan Peoples-Jones in a Browns uniform. And I'd have to say it looks good as they're going through a special teams drill here, getting you ready as we continue with our news updates. Obviously, as you can see, the team is back in pads. We will try to get you injury updates as well to let you know who's in, who's out. Looked like Myles Garrett was not out there in pads. Just from scanning the field earlier, we did not see Greedy Williams or MJ Stewart or Kevin Johnson in the secondary. BJ Goodson, who missed practice yesterday for personal reasons, we have not seen him out there yet today. If we are incorrect about that, we will update you as soon as we can here. But this is a team 2 weeks away, getting healthy, and obviously we want to see those guys in the secondary get back onto the field sooner rather than later, but that's something that the Browns are going to work through, and we've had those young guys step up. That is the opportunity for guys like A.J. Green, who we heard Denzel Ward single out. Donovan Olumba has caught our eye. Your special teams ace, Tavier Thomas, playing in the slot. So a lot of these guys on the back end of this defense getting opportunities, and for some of them, it'll be their first opportunities in First Energy Stadium. Certainly for a guy like Donovan Olumba or A.J. Green, the first time on this field. That's got to be crazy. As an undrafted free agent like A.J. Green is, when you get to put on the real uniform and you get to go into the stadium. Now, normally it would be for a preseason game, would be the first time you do it, but it even has to mean something special today.
Yes, it definitely does. And I just was making mention of that. These young players are going to feel the adrenaline. They're going to feel the pressure from being in an NFL stadium and the pressure of having to compete. They're looked at as it relates to other people in their unit. So when you're talking about A.J. Green, you're talking about Olumba, these young guys that have to make a stand. They have to kind of show their skill right now. It's right. This is according to, when you rate guys on the field right now, this is the preseason. So these guys going to have to bottle all that nervous energy up and go out there and show what they're made of. Tell us why. Show us why they picked you. And they have to do that right out there in front of the scouts, in front of family, in front of friends, and then in front of all you.
Absolutely. And today, again, just to remind you guys, will be more of a practice like we have seen out in Berea. They will have a competitive period at the end of today's practice. Friday, which will be much more like a scrimmage and that dress rehearsal run through. But today, just your typical practice here for the Browns, just a new venue and new uniforms because, boy, do they look good. Time now to go to our national perspective. I caught up with NFL Network reporter Aditi Kinkabwala earlier to talk about all things Browns in today's national perspective, brought to you by Global Transport.
Aditi, thanks so much for the time. Always great to see you. And obviously, we head into 2020 in 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy to think about the NFL season 2 weeks away and what has been a very unique offseason, just kind of big level, league-wide. What are you expecting to see early in this season?
It's so funny that you say good to see you because I feel like, Nathan, by this time of the year, I have actually really physically seen you a lot more. I mean, over the course of the last, 8 years, how many training camp days have I actually been in Berea? And this year, because of everything that's going on, it's really just been once. And so that leads to the question of what do we expect to see? I don't know that we're going to see great football at the start of the season. You and I are old enough to remember football when there used to be 2-a-days and a lot more hitting and a lot more tackling. And then all of a sudden, football moved away from that. And the first month of the season, we generally see shoddy tackling, right? As guys get used to it. Well, now we may see some bad timing. We may see some shoddy tackling. We're going to see teams still kind of trying to get their installation in. Like one of the big things that I've noticed in Cleveland is that when I was out there a week ago, it just felt like they were still working on getting the installation in and where they needed to be. And it wasn't necessarily refinement at that point, but what else would you expect? It's a brand new staff. It's a brand new offense. It's a brand new defense. This is really the first time that this entire group has been together since the staff was hired. You expect them to have to be working on the installation piece of it. And so definitely, as we all keep talking about around the league, Nathan, I just unfortunately feel that teams that have new staffs that are less veteran start the season at a disadvantage.
Do you think, though, for a team that's going to lean on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, perhaps a lack of tackling around the league could play into the Browns' benefit because they're going to give people a lot of running with two very good running backs?
Well, and you know what? And that brings it to another point here is that nobody has any tape on anybody right now. So you're going into games and it's essentially not necessarily what's the chess match, but it's what do we do really well and what can we feel good about what we do. So the Browns obviously spent a lot of money shoring up this offensive line specifically to A, make Baker feel a little bit more comfortable and not have him running for his life, but also B, especially in the red zone, to get more push there. The thing that I worry about is that we haven't seen the whole line together as much as I would have liked to at this point. And so much of what an offensive line does is work with each other and get used to what everybody does. Even Kareem Hunt said to us about a week ago that it takes you a couple weeks to figure out what guard do you want to run behind? Who gets what kind of push? Do you want, what can you expect in what sort of matchup? And if he's not getting that time with this line yet, then that's another sort of red flag there. But again, maybe the flip side to that is you just line up and play. And it doesn't come down to all those nuances, and it's who you have and what your talent is and how well you play together. And going to Kevin Stefanski on a week where he already missed a whole day of practice because of all those COVID false positives, being willing to practice for only an hour when his team wanted to sort of have these social justice conversations. The one thing that Kevin Stefanski said is that this is really important in building team unity and in building team chemistry.
What do you think about this division and where do the Browns fit in it?
I was asked recently, do I think 3 AFC North teams make the playoffs? And I said, absolutely, I really do. So first of all, let's go with the Ravens and the Steelers. They return coaching staffs. They return very, very veteran coaching staffs. They return very, very veteran teams that have played together a lot. And the moves that both teams have made really, truly do improve them. We'll take the Ravens first. The Ravens added a lot at wide receiver. Lamar Jackson is still a young player who is very much on the rise. He has, by all accounts, improved his downfield passing game, which was a significant issue. And now let's move to the Steelers. I think it's the number one defense in the league. I really, truly do. By the time the end of the year came around, that Steelers defense was playing ridiculously fast, ridiculously aggressively. They led the league in sacks and turnovers. Minkah Fitzpatrick has now been with them for kind of a whole year, although he got upset with me. He said, no, I didn't have a real off season. But as opposed to joining the team midway through, he's really had a whole season. He feels more comfortable in what is expected of him. This group is very, very tight. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's as good on the front end with Cam Hayward and Stephon Tuitt and TJ Watt and Bud Dupree and that pass rush, and on the back end with Joe Hayden, who you know very well.
Our guy.
And and Minkah, and Steven Nelson has been playing really well. So, and as I'm not telling you anything you don't know. The front and the back, when they work well together, and young Devin Bush, who was the Steelers' first round pick a year ago, who they traded up 10 spots for, I will tell you from looking at practice, he looks really good. And then as for the Bengals, Joe Burrow isn't coming into an offense that a number 1 overall pick usually comes into. Look at who is on that team. AJ Green and Tyler Boyd and John Ross and Gio Bernard and Joe Mixon, who is one of my favorite running backs in the league as well. And they spent a ton of money on their offensive line as well. So again, I feel a little silly because a few years ago, when was it? I don't think it was last year, but maybe 2 years ago, I thought the AFC North would be amazing and the division fell apart. So I know I sound a little bit like a fangirl right now, but I truly do feel very excited about covering this division because right now things are looking good, you know?
Absolutely. And we're excited about it. Hopefully we'll get to see you in person more often as the world returns to normal. So thank you for joining us in our national perspective today, Aditi.
Thank you for having me.
Always great catching up with Aditi Kinkhabwala in today's National Perspective, brought to you by Global Transport. New this year, Browns fans across Ohio will have a special opportunity to purchase 50-50 raffle tickets during the 2020 Cleveland Browns training camp. Each ticket will provide a chance to win half of the raffle's net proceeds, the other half benefiting Stay in the Game, Keep Learning Every Day, and Shoes and Clothes for Kids, a Cleveland-based nonprofit. The current jackpot, as you see, is $21,190. Your winnings right now over $10,500, and it's climbing, so don't miss out. For more information on how to purchase a raffle ticket, visit Browns5050.com or go to the Browns mobile app. The players going through stretching. We can't wait to bring you action from the field at First Energy Stadium when Browns Live Training Camp, presented by University Hospitals, continues.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack. And every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at university hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Antonio's Pizza delivers doubles. Order 2 medium one-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each, or make it a large for just $12.99. Download our new Antonio's Pizza app and order 2 of your favorite one-topping pizzas at a special low price. Choose our no-contact delivery and let one of our in-house team members deliver the deliciousness right to your front door. 2 handmade one-topping pizzas fresh out of our 470-degree oven for a low price of $9.99 each for 2 mediums, or get 2 large for just $12.99 each.
New this year, Browns fans all across Ohio will have a special opportunity to purchase 50-50 raffle tickets during the 2020 Cleveland Browns training camp. Each ticket will provide a chance to win half of the raffle's net proceeds, the other half benefiting the Stay in the Game Network and Shoes and Clothes for Kids, a Cleveland-based nonprofit organization. Some exclusions apply. For more information and to purchase a raffle ticket, visit Browns5050.com. That's Browns5050.com or the Browns mobile app.
Just got my new jersey from the Browns.
looks like we're going a little bit more traditional this year.
Heck yeah.
Well, I like the white one. Back to the good old days.
Some of the defensive highlights there from Browns training camp. You're watching Browns training camp live here from First Energy Stadium, presented by University Hospitals. Browns legend Josh Cribbs. Of course, I'm Nathan Zagura, waiting to get you the action on the field. The Browns going through their stretching now. So let's get into our position spotlight as camp winds down, and we're going to look at the defensive standouts. And this is brought to you by Pilot Flying J. Josh, we'll start with you. Who's somebody that's really caught your eye on the defensive side?
Well, somebody who needed to catch our eye. I think defensive linebacker Taki has been all over the place, moving sideline to sideline. I wanted to see a huge progression from last year to this year. He's been in the backfield. He's been hustling around, so he's in a position to catch that tip right there for interception and run it back with a positivity with it, igniting the defense. But he's moving all over the field in coverage. He's running, getting these backs, these talented backs. See, he's going against our ones. A lot of times he's on the field. It's not the two offense out there. He's showing up against Kareem Hunt, like you see right there. He's running all over the field, and he's showing us that this is what is to be expected of him game 1, game 2, all through the year. And that's what we need to see from him. Taki, he needs to step up at the linebacker position. I'm glad that he's doing it.
There's no doubt about it. It's just his comfort in coverage. I got a chance to talk with Sione yesterday prior to practice, and he just said he's worked so hard, and it has shown. He's had a standout performance here in camp, and you see the emotion he plays and how fired up he gets. You love that. I'm going to stay in the linebacker room as well. I don't know if he's out here today. He missed yesterday's practice for personal reasons, but B.J. Goodson, the 4-year veteran out of Clemson, has come in and really become a leader on this defense. He's getting interceptions as you see him right there, an unbelievably athletic play. He's making stops in the run game. He is talking trash all day long to this offense. And Goodson, he's been great in coverage, and really this linebacking core, so many questions about it going into the season. And if what we've seen in camp is any indication from the two guys that we just talked about, B.J. Goodson and Sione Taki, perhaps this group, once they get Mack Wilson back, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later, and indications are that very well could be the case. He could be back with the Browns early in the season, that maybe this linebacking core, along with Jacob Phillips, the rookie, Tay Davis, another veteran, Malcolm Smith coming in, might actually end up being better than people anticipated.
Yes, and I love that addition, how B.J. Goodson has been able to come in via injury and then provide a boost. And it wasn't a letdown from Wilson. When you see him go out and everybody was highly touting Wilson, you didn't see a letdown. And that's when we talked about the depth that the defense has. B.J. Goodson stepped right in there, like you said, catching picks, running sideline to sideline, and has that veteran mentality of still leading and communicating to the defense.
No doubt, and he also likes to let everybody know how good he's been doing out there on that field. All right, Josh, who else has caught your eye?
Yes, next I have to go with our man Terrence Mitchell, Money Mitch. He's been all over the place. So when you talk about DBs, you talk about Denzel Ward, Greedy Wilson, Williams, Cover Johnson, and those young guys, Alumbo, you got to mention Money Mitch. He's still running around the field, a veteran cornerback who's always lit it up for this football team. No, he hasn't been the main starter, but he definitely deserves to be one if at all he had the chance. Look at this guy, the excitement that he ignites the defense, what he brings to the team. He's cool, he's calm, he's collect in certain circumstances that he needs to be out there on the field. He thrives off the field, and you see him, Nathan, he comes out to practice early with a chipper attitude, smiling, joyful to be out there.
A tremendous human.
Yes, catching picks left and right. This is a guy who you wouldn't mind seeing, and I know our fans wouldn't mind, and a lot of them are in the comments like, man, Money Mitch supposed to be starting. But, you know, we see the depth at that which they have on the secondary level, of this defense, and he adds to that. He's tremendous, so that's why he's one of my guys.
No doubt. One of the things we wanted to see is if they were going to figure out how to get Denzel, Money Mitch, and Greedy on the field together once Kevin Johnson went down and MJ Stewart did as well. But Greedy went down with the shoulder injury, so I would expect Money Mitch to be working with the starters today opposite Denzel Ward. And it is, as you mentioned, it's great to have somebody who started many games and been very productive in this league be able to step in for you if you are without Greedy Williams, who, as I said, has missed consecutive days now with that shoulder injury. For me, I'm going to go a young guy up front, Jordan Elliott. I love this guy's tape at Missouri, number 90. First time you ever get to see him in a Browns uniform, and boy, does he look good, and he's looked good all in Berea. Getting to the quarterback, an interior disruptor, pushing, carrying linemen backwards, making plays, not only against the run, but also generating pressure on quarterbacks as well. I think we knew he could get to the quarterback. That's what he did at Missouri, but he's played the run very effectively in Berea, and really it's just his strength at the point of attack. You see him just push and push and push, and he's so quick and agile for a man his size. He has great pass rushing moves, great technique, and I think he's somebody that's going to be a real force as you see him just carry linemen and make plays. I love what we've seen from Jordan Elliott, and he's another guy that because of the injury to Larry Ogunjobi, that groin that kept him out, got some first-team reps and played very, very well with those starters, Josh.
So you named two guys who came in via injury and exceeded expectation. Normally when your number one guy goes down at a position, you don't see the level of production that Jordan Elliott and B.J. Goodson has been able to provide for this team. They're saying, hey, I want to be a starter. I want to be a dog, not just for my team, but for these fans too. And they represent that. I struggle with the decision of who to have as a standout. When we were making this list, I saw Jordan Elliott, and I made notes on him and everything, making a name for himself. A guy's taking advantage of the opportunity, causing disruptions in the offensive line, on the offensive line. That's what you need, and I'm glad he made your list.
Absolutely. He's been great. So has number 91, Eli Anku, the 4-year veteran, the biggest player on the Browns roster, has done some good work in the interior of that defensive line as well. Time now for a little Football 101 brought to you by Ohio Cat, and we're going to take a look at the Blitz. The Blitz is a quarterback. Josh, did you like it when the Blitz was brought?
No, sir, but we had to still deal with it.
So this one right here, the Browns are showing this would be an A-gap blitz. They're showing double A-gap with both linebackers up there, but we only see one arrow going for it. Yeah, there you go. Double A-gap blitz. Mack Wilson gets around the running back and gets the sack. So when you're blitzing, you are typically bringing more than 4 guys, extra guys, in this case the 2 linebackers right up the middle, forcing the running back to step up. They can't, and Mack makes the play. And boy, I can't wait to see Mack Wilson back out here again for the Browns, because I think that he was on his way. He's on his way to a big year, and I think he will be back sooner rather than later, which is very, very good news for this team. But the Blitz, if you get home, that's when you get big plays. But if they pick it up as a quarterback, then that's when you know you have one-on-ones all over the field.
And that's when we talked about how important those running backs are. Anytime you can have a mixed match with a linebacker against a smaller running back, which the Browns did right there, you'll have a guy like Wilson against any running back who's undersized at all, and you see he was able to have success and get the sack right there.
Joe Woods in this Browns defense, it's going to be attacking. They're going to want to get home with that front 4, and boy, there's a lot of pass rushing talent up there when you think of Miles and Vernon and the veteran Adrian Claiborne coming in, Sheldon Richardson, Ogunjobi, but he will not be afraid to bring some blitzes as well, especially some nickelback blitzes right out of the slot, as well as those linebacker pressures right up the center, right up the middle, those double A-gap pressures. All right, we are going to get back to you, get back to the field here, a beautiful looking field. First Energy Stadium, as you're looking at Browns defensive coordinator Joe Woods getting everybody lined up here. And this is Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack. And every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at University Hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a pharmacist for Discount Drug Mart, but that's not all I am. I'm a healthcare provider, good listener, and a problem solver. I've been a pharmacist for Drug Mart for over 30 years, and that's a long time to get to know your patients. And each week we hear as many concerns as there are patients. Just the other day, I special ordered a medication for Mrs. Briscoe, just to make sure she didn't miss a dose. I'm proud that our patients trust me with their pharmacy needs, and I promise that Discount Drug Mart will always be there for you.
Obviously it's a talented group of individuals, but talented individuals don't win games. It's a team game, and that's the biggest part. And the facts are, we have to execute.
The goal is to play fast, and we've found over the years that the offense that breaks the huddle and constantly is just going at the defense and really not waiting for a counter punch. It's jabbing first. So that's a big part of who we are as an offense, and it's something that AVP is installing right now.
Oh, I got him. There you go. Good job.
Today's Cleveland Browns High School Team of the Day, Cardinal High School paired with Warrensville Heights High School to accept the Build the Bridge Challenge. The Huskies are coached by George Gresco and finished the 2019 campaign 4-6. To learn more about the Build the Bridge Challenge and how you can be the solution, visit clevelandbrowns.com/youthfootball today.
Welcome back into the field. It's Browns live training camp at First Energy Stadium. The first time your Browns have been on this field in 2020. 18 days away from the home opener against the Bengals, just 2 weeks away from the season opener against the Baltimore Ravens. Nathan Zgura alongside Browns legend Josh Cribbs with you as the Browns going through a little bit of an install period now, and as soon as they get to that teamwork, we will get you on the field here at First Energy Stadium to give you all of the action today, because I know you guys are hungry to see your Browns on the field in those uniforms getting this practice going, and we certainly are excited to bring that to you as well. Remember to get your questions in using the hashtag BrownsLive, and we will get those questions answered for you on today's program. As you see, Baker Mayfield leading the offense through a little bit of an install period there, as the field behind us is basically the Browns on one half, the offense in the Brown uniforms on one half of the field going through their work, the defense on the other half of the field right now going through their install and walkthrough. You see Baker throwing out there to Jarvis Landry. All right, we've got, look, everybody loves this part of the show. Let's get to it now. Why not? It's the Puppy Pound Puppy of the Day, adopted by Sugardale. And today's puppy is a 10-month-old lab mix named Adrian Claybone. Thanks to the tremendous community support, we have only a limited number of puppies. I'm told over 75 puppies have already been adopted. And look at Claybone, unaffected by the traffic. He's like, I'm locked in on this bone. I'm on the grass, just like the Browns players on the grass behind us. I'm ready to go. So we do not have many puppies left, but we do still have dogs, and we consider all dogs to be puppies at heart that need forever homes. So please continue to support this great program. If you want to see or adopt a dog or puppy of your own, visit browns.com/puppypound. Families will receive a puppy starter kit provided by Sugardale. Look at Adrian Claybone there. And Adrian Claiborne back on the field for the Browns. He'd missed a couple of days of practice earlier this week, came back yesterday. Obviously back in the mix today. And he's a guy, a veteran, 10-year veteran, former first-round pick who, has averaged over 5 sacks a season over the last 4. A couple years ago, a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, a 9-sack season with the Atlanta Falcons, so still a very productive player who brings some of that depth, obviously, to the defensive line.
Yes, and anytime you get that depth, and that's what we keep harping on, that's how good your team is able to be. Injuries will happen. That's going to happen again. That's the NFL's 100% injury in the NFL. But when you have that depth and when you have people that can back up one another with talent, that's how good your team is, the depth that you provide for them.
Speaking of that defensive end room, one of the things we're really going to be watching today, we know Miles not practicing. He is here, but not dressed today for the Browns practice at First Energy Stadium. That battle that really is emerging, Porter Gustin and Chad Thomas filling in for Miles. It's been Gustin with the starters, and we start to get our first look at the team period here today as the Browns getting set to bring their offense against the defense. Look like the Browns on the 12-yard line, getting ready for a little red zone work. And we're going to begin with Baker Mayfield in the shotgun. And for those wondering, it does look like you've got out there Olivier Vernon on one end, and it does appear to be both Porter Gustin as Baker throws one to the corner. Odell Beckham on the corner route. Looked like he had him, probably a little amped up there.
Yeah.
Little overthrow from Baker Mayfield on that corner route to Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, one thing we didn't see them come out and throw live full-speed warm-up passes. A lot of times you come out there and you go full speed so that the timing gets down. What you saw from them, they were getting their mental game down, and this is still a practice. However, you would like to come and get that full-speed action right away so those passes can be caught.
You certainly would, and it's Porter Gustin, as we mentioned, in there for Myles Garrett. Stretch play to the left. Nick Chubb cuts it back, and that's one where they're going to say he's down as Gustin came across the formation and tagged him down at about the 4-yard line. But in a game, I don't know that anybody's bringing Nick Chubb down. That might have been in the house.
Yes, and at the very least, a 9-yard gain by Nick Chubb.
How good is it to see Nick Chubb in the old school uniforms? That's what everybody says about him. He's old school. He's all about business. And boy, does he look good as you see Kaderil Hodge along with Beckham and Landry as your 3 receivers for the Browns for Baker Mayfield, who comes in an empty backfield formation there in the shotgun. Takes it. He's looking left, throws in rhythm. Beckham, touchdown, Browns in the back of the end zone. A good ball. You saw the toe drag swag there from Beckham, and that is the first touchdown we have seen at First Energy Stadium this year. The first touchdown we've seen in those uniforms. And even though it's only practice, boy, does it look good as you see the highlight up there. Beckham goes up, gets the toes down. Touchdown, Browns.
I would love to see him dance and do what he's going to do when the game is on. I want to see it. Get the excitement out there, get everybody amped up, make the defense compete more, do what you have to do.
Little run up the middle there as Baker back under center as the Browns continue to do this kind of a red zone period here. And looks like that'll be the final play for the first team offense as the second team offense takes the field led by Case Keenum. And the second team defense comes on. We mentioned Adrian Claiborne, Jordan Elliott, some of the guys we said had been standouts. They're both out there as well. I don't see Chris Hubbard, a couple of veterans. Chris Hubbard normally with this second team line. Don't see him out there today, nor did we see B.J. Goodson in that early going as well for the defense. So it seems those 2 veterans still out today as Keenum leads them in from about the 12. A handoff to Dearness Johnson. Bounces it outside. Great job by Chad Thomas to really break that play up, get the penetration from his left end spot, and force it to the outside where the pursuit was made. It looked like Tay Davis getting over there, Solomon Ajayi as well on that tackle. Might have been Willie Harvey, 56, who got over there, but a good job by Chad Thomas, and that's what, listen, former third-round pick battling to make this roster at this point, seems to be trailing Porter Gustin. He had a good day yesterday as well, and it seems like another good day for Chad, at least a good start for him as Keenum leads the Browns there. He is under center. Donovan Peoples-Jones out there at wide receiver for him. Drops back. He's looking left. He fires it outside, and that is caught. Steve Carlson, good job by Robert Jackson to get up there quickly, and it looked like a very minimal gain, if at all, for the offense. And Jackson's a guy, he and Olumbo really competing. They both 6'2". Both of them have that similar kind of long, lean build with the dreads coming out of the back of their helmets, and they both had pretty good camps so far.
Yes, and when you're talking about these guys, they need to be consistent. Guys that are on the bubble, you talked about on the defense side, Chad Thomas, you want to consistently see him making plays. The last few days he did make some plays, but consistency is the key.
Keenum gets it, and he fires underneath. And that one looked like it might be caught. The defense says no. The offense says yes. Dontrell Hilliard into the end zone, and it was Hilliard who scored the Browns' first touchdown a year ago. Right down at this very end zone, a 5-yard. Nope. I'm going to say on replay, no. That ball in the hands out on the ground, and that's one that Dontrell, he's battling with Dearness. That's got to be 6. That's what we would call Kevin Stefanski. Remember yesterday's Football 101 brought to you by Ohio Cat? 4-point plays. Great job by our camera guys there to get that one and to run back the replay for you, as that was an incomplete pass that needed to be a touchdown. And you see him run again, and he ran into what I call a brick wall named Jordan Elliott, did Dontrell Hilliard. And that's the kind of just physicality that Elliott brings to the table, as you see the Browns now bringing out their starters on offense and defense. Great play there by Elliott, and a good session, a good period from Chad Thomas as well, as they talk with defensive line coach Chris Kiffin as they make their way back to the sideline. The ones out there, they're starting again at the 12-yard line, and for the Browns on defense, as we said, don't see B.J. Goodson out there. Malcolm Smith, though, getting some work with the starters today as Mayfield is under center, and he's got Kareem Hunt behind him in the backfield. And the give is to Hunt, who bounces it out to the right. And Denzel Ward and the DBs over there in pursuit. Andrew Sendejo, Jacob Phillips coming down to wrap up Hunt there. And a good job by the defenses. That was one we saw earlier in camp. Hunt get there, bounce it out, and get to the end zone.
Yes, and again, we talked about that defense making plays. Jordan Elliott, guys like him and Chad Thomas. During practice, when they're not going 100 miles per hour and it's a mental game, it's the fits. So now when it's 100, when they go in full speed, they're fitting up the run plays correctly, and that allows them to make the play. That's why you see Jordan Elliott and Chad Thomas kind of sliding in on those run plays and making the proper tackles.
Baker Mayfield in the shotgun. He's got Harrison Bryant out there with him, sends him in motion to the far right side. Mayfield drops back, looks, fires up top. And who went up there and got that? Austin Hooper. My goodness. And that's the element that he brings to this team. Hooper with a touchdown in the red zone. Good coverage. You can't say that that wasn't good coverage, because it was. That was just better offense. Great ball placement from Mayfield. And Hooper fakes the out and then cuts it up. And the ball's right up where only he can get it. I'm sorry. Tay Davis, he said, I was right there. I thought I was going to get the PBU.
Yes.
No, sir. Austin Hooper. That's why the guy's been to 2 straight Pro Bowls, and that's why yesterday he was one of your offensive standouts in camp.
Yes, indeed. And that's a guy who goes up, and he just wanted it more, so he came down with the football. Seems like double coverage right there.
And that was just a perfect ball from Baker Mayfield, that good rhythm. Mayfield in the shotgun again, looking left, flush to the right. He's coming around, looking for somebody to get open. Tries to fire at the front of the end zone. Were those feet in? I don't know. Kareem Hunt, though, makes the catch. The defense is certainly going to say they were not in, but he looked like he was in there. I think he may have had his body out of bounds, though, prior to coming down with the catch.
You know, when it comes to a guy like Kareem Hunt, those are the type of things that you can access in him.
Right.
Unlike other running backs, Chubb can still catch the football, but not as acrobatic as you saw that from Kareem Hunt. But I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Last year, we remember that catch from Chubb. Yes. He can amaze you with that with his hands.
He can, and by the way, those Browns uniforms, they are looking good. I love the stripes on the pants as well, as Mayfield turns and he hands off right up the middle and he runs into a wall. Larry Ogunjobi and Sheldon Richardson plug in the middle up there as the Browns had a productive period there. Certainly Baker Mayfield continuing to look sharp. Touchdowns to Odell Beckham Jr., touchdown to Austin Hooper as well, and that's what we had talked about. Those two, both of them were standouts for us yesterday, and that's the rhythm. And I think this offense, again, continuing to be very sharp here as we transition to First Energy Stadium. A good job in that goal line period, and obviously the highlights, Baker to Odell and Baker to Austin Hooper. And boy, did that look good, seeing those guys connecting down there. As you see Sheldon Richardson heading on over to the bench as it's hot out there on the field. The reports of the people in the stands, it's a little bit toasty here at First Energy Stadium. Time now to talk about our Pro Shop item of the day, and today's item is this training camp bucket hat that's on sale today for only $20. I love a bucket hat. I'm sad that today's Pro Shop item of the day is not right here in my hand so that I could put it on and take it home with me. I'm going to have to make sure that I call 440-824-3427 to place my order, because for $20, there is no better hat on this planet. That is my endorsement. That is just the truth. Look at how good it looks. It's going to protect you from the sun. It's going to keep you cool. It's a great, great hat. $20. That's the one thing I haven't got yet this year. My training camp bucket. I'm going to make sure I get on that today. You get on it as well. 440-824-3427 to place your order, or go to First Energy Stadium Monday through Friday. It's open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. to get your very own, as you see it being modeled there right on the field, looking spectacular. By the way, the store has been updated for a clean and safe shopping experience. And the best part is all net proceeds benefit the Cleveland Browns Foundation. We'll get you back on the field when we return from First Energy Stadium. Cleveland Browns football, Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals.
The health and well-being of Ohioans is our top priority. That's why we offer high-quality health insurance plans for you and your family, with access to the doctors and hospitals you know and trust, plus dental, vision, and wellness plans to help you achieve and maintain your best health. We give you peace of mind so you can enjoy life's best moments. We are here for you, today and every day. Medical Mutual, the official health insurer of everything you love.
At Union Home Mortgage, we're committed to your goals. Whether it's a cash-out refinance to cover the cost of her college tuition, more room for new memories to grow, or to buy a home for the very first time. Whatever your goal, what matters to you matters to us too. And we promise, we won't stop working until you get there. Make your dream a reality with Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept.
The Cleveland Browns are tremendously grateful for those who continue to serve on the front lines during these extremely challenging times. As a way to show our appreciation and as a part of our Hats Off to Our Heroes Foundation, we will honor a frontline worker for each week of the season. Nominate any frontline worker that you know for a chance to be honored with an exclusive Browns game day experience. Learn more by visiting clevelandbrowns.com/nominate-a-hero.
Today's Dog of the Day brought to you by Sugardale is Brianna Rust. Brianna is a third-generation Browns fan who was born during the Bernie Kosar era, and as a 2-year-old, her most sought-after gift was her Bernie Kosar uniform. The old Hutch uniforms. Look at how that's an adorable picture, complete with the helmet. Last year, she became a season ticket holder and looks forward to passing the tradition on to their children and grandchildren for years to come. That is awesome, Brianna. Thank you so much for being a great Browns fan. And if you want a chance to be featured as our Dog of the Day, visit browns.com/training camp to submit your story. Nathan Zgura alongside Josh Cribbs here, and a little injury update for you today. The Browns not practicing Myles Garrett. We had told you about that earlier. Unknown at this point. B.J. Goodson still out for personal reasons. Chris Hubbard and J.C. Treader on the offensive line are both out today as well. And in the cornerback room, it remains the same. You do not have Kevin Johnson. You do not have Greedy Williams or M.J. Stewart. Also, Mack Wilson remains out with that knee injury. Nathan Zgura, Josh Cribbs with you. And as we welcome you back into Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals, I want you to know I had the pleasure earlier this week of talking to Jody Berg, the president and CEO of Vitamix, about their tie to Northeast Ohio and the Browns.
Our great pleasure now to be joined at this time by the president and CEO of Vitamix, Jody Berg, decked out in her Browns gear. Jody, it is great to be with you today.
It's great to be here. Go Browns!
Go Browns, that is right. Let's start, though, for people who may not know that Vitamix, a company with deep roots here in Northeast Ohio. What's the history of Vitamix?
Yeah, so Vitamix was started by my great-grandfather almost 100 years ago. We're celebrating our 100th anniversary in 2021. He started the company in Illinois, but when he came to do demonstration in Cleveland in 1936, 1937, fell in love with Cleveland, fell in love with the people of Cleveland, and said, this is where I want my company, packed everybody up and moved them right to Cleveland. We've been here ever since. We came across blending back in the late 1930s, fell in love with the fact that that is an incredible tool to help people eat healthier. We've been focusing on blending ever since. Right here in Cleveland, Ohio, we manufacture all of our products in Strongsville, right outside of Cleveland, and it's a fabulous place to run a company. So we're excited to be here.
We're certainly happy to have you. And anybody who knows anything about the blending business knows that there's a Vitamix and then there's everybody else. There's just the gold standard. And certainly we are happy to have you partnered with the Cleveland Browns as you are the gold standard. Why is it important for Vitamix, in your opinion, to be partnered with the Browns?
We have so much in common. One, we have incredibly passionate fans, right? Fans that they get it and they're excited and they see performance and they appreciate that. The second, the Browns understand the value of whole food nutrition and performance. And in not just performance on the field, but also performance just as a person, right? You feel better, you're emotionally and psychologically and physically healthier. So we've made a commitment to make sure that our Browns have the right equipment to be able to maximize their nutrition everywhere where they're eating, in the training facilities. And then we have a commitment to make sure that all of your fans have access to the best quality products as well. So any opportunity we have to make sure the Vitamix equipment is in the stadiums for all of us Clevelandites to enjoy it when we're coming down to watch our Brownies.
There's an opportunity. I think you're doing something for the Browns fans special today that they absolutely will want to capitalize on.
I am. And since my great-grandfather was the founder of the infomercial, I have to use the line, but wait, there's more. So our more for all of our Browns fans today is that Vitamix is offering a 20% off, 20%, anything on our Vitamix.com site. And the code you need to use is BrownsVita. BROWNSVITA, Browns Vita, and you get 20% off anything on our website. And that's just our way of saying thank you. Thank you for being committed to this amazing city. Thank you for being committed to our Browns and just really kicking off the season in a way that says, go Browns.
And we want to thank you. First of all, that was tremendous. We might have to bring you in here to do some of our hype videos to get everybody going. But you talk about this coupon that you're doing, this 20% off with the Browns Vita code. Again, you can use that today. During this, a lot of people are stuck in their homes. You don't have the access to the foods you normally would. And so eating healthy is a big, big challenge. And taking advantage of this code, Browns Vita, to get 20% off today would be a great way to bring healthy eating and nutrition into a home when a lot of the food's going to have to be prepared in the home these days.
Yep, sounds great. Thanks for this opportunity.
She's sold. Thank you very much, Jody Berg, President and CEO of Vitamix, for joining us today. All right, and nutrition, obviously a very important thing. The Browns have a nutritionist on staff, Katie Messick. I know from being a player, I don't know, but you know from being a player how important that is and how big of a part of the program is nutrition to get you guys ready to be peak on the field.
Yes, now more than ever. When I played, I went from fast foods to more well-rounded meals, and, you know, we don't come from, you know, families that often preach, you know, eating the right foods, eating this so that you can maximize your potential on the field. Usually people don't know nothing about maximizing your potential on the field. So I learned that once I got to college and the NFL, and you see that more and more with the teams around the NFL, they're staffed with these awesome nutritionists that help maximize the athlete's potential by eating right. That's first, eating right and getting the necessary fuel to give your best on this field out here.
Absolutely, and one of the secrets is supposedly halftime peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it's quick and it gives you that little bit of burst. And there's Katie. We got her. Katie Messick there, the Browns dietitian and nutritionist.
They do it big now. They didn't do it that big when I played. No, I'm like, man, y'all got everything.
They do. It is a lot of science behind that and a lot of just trying to get peak performance on the field. The Browns wrapping up a special teams period. We've told you just what about this backfield, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Well, let's take a listen to Cleveland's own Kareem Hunt, mic'd up, presented by Discount Drug Mart.
Oh. Help getting this on. It's the worst part of the day, putting these shoulder pads on. No, that wasn't too bad. All right, I'm Gucci. I'm ready for war now. Get your mind right, Chubb. We got a hot one on our hands. I'm snitching on everybody today. I'm telling. I don't know how you tie your cleats like that. Look how ugly Chubb ties cleats. How does he get them off? The chubby knot? Bro, what you mean? Which one's the chubby knot? It got like 5 of them. Yes, sir. Woo! Uh-oh. Get your work in. You ready? Come on. Yeah! 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 It feel like you a horse and I'm just... Yeah! Yeah! Why do you pull it that hard? Be quiet. I'll swat one. I just poured water in my nose. It was kind of refreshing though.
Kareem Hunt there, mic'd up, presented by Discount Drug Mart. What a great closer to that. But I love to hear, you can just hear how hard he runs, even out there in Berea.
And not just that, the game-specific drills that they do. And a lot of times we don't see that here on the show, and we don't know exactly what type of drill work they do, but it's all game-specific, things that that's going to happen during the games, and they have worked on catching the ball and hitting it downhill, doing a spin move on a bag. These are things that happen and come up in real live game situations. So why not keep the drills game specific? So that's a lot of what that is.
Absolutely. The Browns going through some situational work right now, but we want to remind you that during training camp, the Browns are holding a special charity auction with special experiences and items to benefit the Browns Foundation Stay in the Game education program. Today's experience of the day is a chance to golf with a Browns legend. That's right. You and 3 others will have the unique opportunity to hit the links with Browns legend Kevin Mack. To bid on this item and more, visit browns.com/auctions. And I can tell you, Kevin Mack loves to get on the golf course. That is going to be a great time with a true Browns great. We'll be back with more Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals as we get you back to the action at First Energy Stadium.
At Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, we realize now, more than ever, is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we can find your dream home, even in today's competitive market. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
That's the elegance of having a mustache.
Cleveland Brown fans, can you say go Browns?
Welcome back to Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals. Today's Community Spotlight features the Cleveland Browns Foundation's Marion Motley Scholarship. The Browns, in partnership with College Now Greater Cleveland, offers a $10,000 college scholarship each year to 2 Northeast Ohio high school students in honor of former Browns fullback Marion Motley. Since the inception of the program, the Browns Foundation has awarded $280,000 in scholarship funds to 28 deserving students. If you or your child would like to learn more and apply online, visit collegenowgc.org. That's collegenowgc.org. Applications are due September the 30th. Nathan Zagura back with you here at First Energy Stadium. As you look at Marion Motley's name there on the Browns Ring of Honor, and the great number 36 retired here for the Browns. And let me tell you something, Josh, the history of this franchise, absolutely so rich, and you're seeing it when you zoom out, all the names, all of the Hall of Famers that have come before and helped build this franchise into one of the most historic and iconic in the league.
Yes, and I didn't realize that until I played for the Browns, and we were shown a video of the rich tradition that the Cleveland Browns have and all the superstars that came before us and the rich tradition of the fans. Then we understood the diehard nature of our fans and the team leaving and how detrimental that was to this city. So as players, it was that much more. It meant that much more to us to play hard, not just for our own families, but these diehard Cleveland Browns fans.
You're watching Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals, and the Browns going through some work there, game-specific, and trying to get, the field goal unit, for example, onto the field, the things that you have to do. And listen, in Berea, the sideline, you don't have the same setup you do at the stadium where you go through it and you get that spike and we run everybody onto the field to try to get that and create that in this kind of real situation here. As you see Austin Seibert from about 50 yards on the right hash. Ball down. The kick is up from Seibert. And it looked like off the upright.
Yeah, if you didn't see, the goalposts have been moved slightly to make it harder for the Seibert to catch. No, I'm just kidding. That's an excuse I'll give him, because on game day, hey, get all that out right now, because on game day, right, we all know it's going to be right through.
Right down the middle. And listen, last year kicking towards the dog pound, which he was doing there, was one of the toughest places to kick in the entire National Football League. Seibert had plenty of leg on that one from 50, but off the goalpost and unfortunately no good. Very happy to be joined by Browns legend Josh Cribbs. We're back at the stadium, and man, it's good to see some football here on this field, and it just makes you just yearn, I think, a little bit to get it out there, and I'm sure for you it gets you fired up. You want to be out there and be ready to go, as the Browns just working on some situational stuff, not at full speed, obviously, as you see Baker Mayfield scrambling around before he fires one to the end zone, where, of course, Harrison Bryant catches it, because that's all he does is catch touchdowns. But they're just going through the motions and, again, getting the feel for what it would be in some of these game-realistic type of situations.
Yes, and you see the camera.
They're on the visitor sideline right now, normally at First Energy Stadiums, where the defense is, the offense on that home sideline. As you see Myles Garrett in the background looking over the shoulder of one of the coaches, getting the calls. Good on him as well. And I think these guys are having fun out there, but as a player, does this make it you say, okay, like I want the real thing. This is fun, but
indeed. And you see these guys practicing again. When I told you, when it's mental like this, they have to have the right fits. They have to fit up right against the run blocking. The run blocking has to fit up right against these guys on offense, so that when they do go full speed, that they're where they're supposed to be. And that's really important for both sides of the ball in order to stop things, to fit up well, in order to stop other teams and have success on offense. So you'll see a lot of the mental games, a lot of the walkthroughs, a lot of the drill sets geared towards fitting up right, being where you're supposed to be.
And that's what the Browns working on as you see this team go ahead and kind of go through these motions, go through getting some of these looks. And that's Kevin Davidson at quarterback, something we haven't seen very often. The rookie out of Princeton, who was signed by the Browns as an undrafted free agent on May 5th. In his career in 29 games at Princeton, threw for 2,993 yards and 25 touchdowns. And did you know, as a senior, he set the Ivy League record for touchdown passes in a game with 7 against Bucknell. So Davidson, we haven't seen much of him at Browns camp, but got to get out there and get one snap in as they rush the field goal unit onto the field. And this one will be from 33 yards out. Austin Seibert lining up there with the Scottish Hammer. Jamie Gillen as the holder once again. And we'll take a look now back on the field. Ball down. Kick is up. And the kick is good. Right down the pipe. We need Brad Mellon back out there to give us the step through. And yes, the kick is good.
And guys, they have to do that drill to where they have the offense out there, they go through a play, and they run the field goal team out there to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. Because early in the game, during preseason games, which we don't have, that's when you work out the kinks, the substitution kinks. So not having that preseason, they have to do it all in practice before game one, so it's not sloppy. You see a lot of sloppiness usually in the first few preseason games. Without having that real live reps, you have to get it done in practice so that in the game the coaching shows that they've practiced the substitution problems. Get that out of the way so there'll be no errors and no penalties, no useless flags when it comes to PAT field goal.
Absolutely, because that stuff is important. And as you said, and perhaps early in the season, it could come down to executing in a situation like that could be the difference between winning and losing. And for the Browns, we know 2 weeks away from the season opener in Baltimore against the defending AFC North champion Ravens. The Browns beat them in Baltimore last year. That was the last time the Ravens lost a game that season as the Browns continue to kind of go through their paces here. You see Baker Mayfield and the offense down there as Baker stretching it out there in the pads. And they're going kind of, again, just like a very half speed, very slow, stall it down. And then Baker would just go ahead and chuck it into the air. So just going through some very, special situation type stuff here for the Browns at half speed here. And as we said, when we're able to get you back there for the real full action, we certainly will do that for you on Browns Live Training Camp. But I think today so far, the early story, because not a ton of teamwork so far, Josh, but what we saw was Baker sharp in the red zone, missed that first pass to Odell, and then after that really locked in the touchdown to Odell and the touchdown to Austin Hooper.
Yes, and you want to see your team on game day have all the kinks worked out, and that's what they're doing. You're not seeing as much teamwork as we even want to see, but you rather see them get through everything right now because game one, you don't want to see mistakes happen. You'll be asking it, they should have practiced this. So they're doing it now to get that part out of the way.
That's right, and we'll be back with you when they get into more of that teamwork. And take a look at today's trivia question brought to you, as always, by Howard Hannon. The question is, which Browns player holds the team record for career interceptions? We'll find out the answer when we return on Browns Live Training Camp, presented by University Hospitals.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack, and every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at University Hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Antonio's Pizza delivers doubles. Order 2 medium one-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each, or make it a large for just $12.99. Download our new Antonio's Pizza app and order 2 of your favorite one-topping pizzas at a special low price. Choose our no-contact delivery and let one of our in-house team members deliver the deliciousness right to your front door. 2 handmade one-topping pizzas fresh out of our 470-degree oven for a low price of $9.99 each for 2 mediums, or get 2 large for just $12.99 each.
At Union Home Mortgage, we're committed to your goals. Whether it's a cash-out refinance to cover the cost of her college tuition, more room for new memories to grow, or to buy a home for the very first time. Whatever your goal, what matters to you matters to us too. And we promise, we won't stop working until you get there. Make your dream a reality with Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept.
Join the Browns Backers Worldwide Fan Club today Membership is free and includes great perks like 10% off your total at the Cleveland Browns Pro Shop, the ability to start a Browns backer chapter, or join one of the 350-plus existing chapters. Join today for free at fans.clevelandbrowns.com. If you're already a member of Browns Backers Worldwide, use promo code BACKERS2020 for 10% off when you call in your Pro Shop order at 440-824-3427. Join the Browns Backers Worldwide Fan Club today.
Attendance is our key initiative in the East Cleveland City School District. We are in the 4th poorest community in the United States of America. And we have young people now that are in our communities and in our cities that need education in order to help them prepare for the future. The work of the school can't be done without families and the community at large. The Browns Foundation is helping us to increase our communication effort. Parents are affiliating East Cleveland City Schools with the Browns, and there's a partnership there. There are two entities that care about our children and making sure they come to school.
All right, the answer to our Howard Havana trivia question of the day: which Browns player holds the team record for career interceptions? The answer, Tom Darden. Darden, a 3-time All-Pro safety, holds the franchise record with 45 career interceptions, 10 in a single season, and 820 interception yards. That sound you hear, that is the crowd noise being pumped in here at First Energy Stadium. Kevin Stefanski saying, all right, we're putting 15 minutes on the clock. The first kickoff just happened, and the Browns offense on the field. Let's take you down to the action. Nathan Zagura and Josh Cribbs, thanks for watching Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals here at First Energy Stadium. Keenum gets the pass complete down to David Njoku as they get it down the field and make the move there. Keenum with a bomb to the Chief down the seam. And that is certainly one of the highlights today. And you're hearing the PA announcer say first down Browns. Little handoff to Dontrell Hilliard there as well. Keenum to Njoku in the scrimmage portion. That's one of the early highlights. So they're simulating the game feel. And if you're on the field, you get this crowd noise that we're hearing. You're hearing the calls as you normally would. What is this like for the players?
Man, it's awesome because their adrenaline is pumping now, especially with that crowd noise. They usually dial it in at this point anyway, and the crowd is like non-existent to them. But it's good to see Njoku out there catch that deep ball right there and take it down the field.
Absolutely. So what you're seeing now in this scrimmage environment is the second team offense against the first team defense, and they're tackling to the ground. This is live this is real football for the first time in 2020. Dontrell Hilliard spinning off the first tackle and taking the ball all the way down to about the 4-yard line. It looked like a nice run there from Dontrell Hilliard. Real football happening, and the only place you can see your Browns is Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospital. So I hope you're joining us right now. You're getting the crowd noise. You're getting the whole environment as the Browns now have it about 3rd and goal at the 4. This is one of those 4-point plays with Keenum under center, and they'll look to convert. Keenum drops back, looks left, throws, outset, stretched arms, caught, and that is a touchdown. Damian Ratley with the touchdown. Keenum puts it out there. Ratley hauls it in. And Damian Ratley is still competing for that 3rd receiver spot. And this is a play that will go a long way. He beats Money Mitch in the slot there. The perfect throw from Keenum to get it on the outside. And he makes the touchdown grab, and that's a touchdown Browns as that second team offense was able to come out and get down the field quickly. The big play, the bomb down the seam to David Njoku.
This is exactly what I've been wanting to see from your backup quarterback. He stepped in there, took the offense straight down the field with guys like Njoku, guys like Damian Ratley, scored the touchdown and ran the offense consistently. There were no hiccups. There were no mistakes. A tribute to the mental drills that they constantly do, but this is what you want to see from your backup quarterback, stepped in there like a number 1 guy.
You see the Chief all smiles on the sideline. Baker Mayfield saying, can't wait to see that out there from you, and that's what he brings. He brings something, and in terms of size and speed, that none of the other tight ends on this roster, and frankly, very few of the tight ends in the National Football League have. And so the scoreboard here says now, Browns 7, Orange 0, 12:43 on the clock. And so you're going to have the 2s against the 1s, both offense and defense. And now for that 1 offense, and Baker Mayfield set to take the field as you see him there talking with Alex Van Pelt. The kickoff is back. and they will just bring it out, and we'll get started. Here to see Dontrell simulate that return. And Baker Mayfield coming onto the field. This is, again, the first live period that we have seen all training camp long from your Cleveland Browns. And Mayfield comes out there with Harrison Bryant alongside of him. And so that was the Chief working his way back in there with the twos, making a big play. And now we'll see what the Brown starters can do on offense. As we told you, Bryant was in there, Odell Beckham Jr., as well as Jarvis. The Browns come out here with Mayfield under center against this defense. Mayfield drops back, good rhythm. He's throwing up top, looking for Jarvis Landry. And right there, Donovan Olumba with the good coverage.
We can't say enough good things about these young cornerback guys out there. The secondary has really stepped up. Now, you've seen Case Keenum right there go against the number 1 core defense, and now you see the twos out there, the 2 defense. But are they really twos? They're playing like ones out there. Olumbo matched up against Jarvis. In practice, he was matched up against OBJ. So they've got their work ahead of them, and they've been doing a great job.
2nd and 10 from the Browns' 25. Mayfield under center, communicating with his offensive line and rookie center Nick Harris, who you see there. Mayfield with a quick little toss, and the give to Nick Chubb, wrapped up by Adrian Claiborne after about a 2-yard gain. And it will be 3rd and 8 for the starters with about 12:29 left in this period as Mayfield's getting the play call in from the side. The crowd noise pumped in. It's the first time they've had to deal with crowd noise or listening as Mayfield looks to get the play. And it'll be, as I said, about 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 from the Browns' own 26-yard line. And certainly I know they want to pick this up here and extend this drive. So a big 3rd down coming up for the Brown starters against that second-team defense. And so far, Donovan Olumba with a nice pass break up here and the snap, and they blow that play dead immediately. Kevin Stefanski saying, nope, we're going to have to back it up on the offense there. I don't know if it was a delay of game because we don't have the access to that play clock, but they've said we're backing it up, and it'll be 3rd and 14 now for your Browns first-team offense as they come out to the field. First down, Mayfield was looking for Jarvis Landry one-on-one with Donovan Olumba. Olumba, a nice pass breakup. 2nd down, short run with Nick Chubb. Mayfield back in the shotgun looking, checks it down to Chubb, who's has a chance to get up there through a 2, and they did a good job coming up in run support. Sheldrick Redwine and Robert Jackson coming up, and they are just about a yard short, but Chubb picking up about 13 when they needed 14, and Mayfield and company will head to the sideline, and the Scottish Hammer will come out to punt the ball away. So good job by the defense in saying, okay, we're going to give you the underneath, but we're not going to let you get to the sticks as they rallied the ball and got Nick Chubb to the ground.
Definitely, and already you can see mistakes that need to be corrected. Seems like a false start or too much time taken by the offense, so they backed them up 5 yards. Had they not had that, it would have been a first down check down to your man Chubb, Nick Chubb at running back, who was just a yard shy of the first down. And just like game situation, they had to go ahead and punt that ball out, and Case Keenum takes over. As you see, hopefully he'll move the ball down again to show more consistency. You'd have liked to see something, though, from Baker against that second team. Like we've been saying, you want to see him kind of light up the second team defense, but we didn't see it there.
You would have loved to have seen it, but now Case Keenum has a chance to make this a 2-possession game here for the Brown team in the orange and brown as we see it on the scoreboard. And man, real football. It's giving me goosebumps. We haven't seen tackling, real football, and now you know, okay, was that a 7-yard gain, an 8-yard gain? You know right now, we're seeing real football for the first time in 2020 at First Energy Stadium with your Browns. Nathan Zagura, Josh Cribbs again. This is Browns Live Training Camp from the stadium, brought to you by University Hospitals and Keenum, and you're hearing the noise, and it feels like a game atmosphere out there, Josh, and this is fun. This is the most fun we've had all training camp, I'd say.
Definitely is. You got the guys out there. You got training camp going in full swing. It feels like a game. It feels like there's 100,000 people cheering behind us. The music is playing. The players are feeling the pressure indeed. We'll see what Case Keenum and his number 2 offense has in store for us.
Starting at about the 26-yard line, Keenum in the shotgun, with an empty backfield as 5 receivers on the field for the Browns, including the running backs and tight ends. Keenum, quick look to the left to Pharaoh Brown. Sione Taki there right away, limited him to about a 2-yard gain, and that's kind of what we're talking about with Taki in space,
yes.
Josh.
In space, we told him, we said we wanted to see a guy go sideline to sideline, coverage, knockdowns, tackling the running back, tackling the tight ends, matching up well. Taki is a guy who you want to see all over the field, that progression from year 1 to year 2, year 3. We're trying to see that here. He's looking good so far.
Handoff to Dearness Johnson around the right side. Porter Gustin stops him, but Johnson spins out of it and has a great run, picking up about 11 yards. And I love what we've seen from Ernest Johnson throughout Berea and now into first interception. That play looked like it was going to be a loss, and he got away from 3 guys. And on the defensive side, you got to say we got to wrap him up, but a great individual effort from Ernest.
And you said you liked him because of that. His acceleration, his change of direction, and his ability to keep the play moving, maybe the advantage that he has over Dontrell Hilliard and his vision.
Both he and Hilliard have had good runs in the early going. Keenum under center from his own 41, another hand to Johnson, and Porter Gustin gets there as he cuts it back for about a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Browns' second-team offense led by Case Keenum. And for Keenum, as we've mentioned, it's different this year. He's been the opening day starter multiple years in a row in this league. Not this season with the Cleveland Browns, backing up, of course, Baker Mayfield. You see him send Hollywood Higgins out to the top of your screen. Keenum under center. It's about 2nd and 6 after that 4-yard pickup by Johnson on first down. Keenum dropping back, looking left, quick throw out, and that is caught by Hollywood Higgins pretty much right at the first down marker as they get over midfield into the 49-yard line as they're making their way down again. And yes, that is a first down that will move the sticks. It will be 1st and 10 for the Browns, and Keenum at the 49. Good coverage, good pass, just taking a nice little 6-yard gain here. And for the defense, good job, obviously, but a good catch by Hollywood Higgins, knowing where the sticks are.
And Case is just walking this ball down the field against our one defense like you would like to see against, a well-qualified defense.
Keenum dropping back, straight down the middle, dumps it off to Ernest Johnson, and this is where Johnson is dangerous. Good stiff arm on Jacob Phillips, and that is another first down as he picks up about 12 yards. And Ernest, he keeps showing up, and I think that's one of those battles that's going to be very difficult for general manager Andrew Berry. If you had to score it right now, where would you score it?
I would score it right now in Ernest Johnson all the way, just for his excitement, his ability to change direction and acceleration. You just need to give the guy the ball in space, and look what he can do.
Yeah, 2 good plays from Johnson, a run of more than 10 yards and about a 14-yard catch there as it is 1st and 10 for the Browns. Keenum out of the shotgun finds Steve Carlson on the outside, and for about a 7-yard gain as they get it to the 30, and it'll be about 2nd and 3 or 2nd and a long 3 or 2nd and a short 4 for Keenum. Very efficient. We're seeing the ball come out quickly, using the whole field too. We're working the short pass on the outside, also the middle, and then when they come up, that's when we saw that big play down the seam earlier to Njoku.
Yes, he is right on with his progression, his reads. If it's not there, he throws the check down. He is wasting no time to take the high percentage plays when the opportunity presents itself.
Keenum under center and play action boot, looking for Hilliard, rolls out, looks down the field, checks it down to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Peoples-Jones runs right into, it looks like a nice tackle there by Tavier Thomas, but he likes to see Peoples-Jones stay in short, and Keenum rolled out, looked deep, wasn't there, took what the defense gave him as Gustin closed in, and it was a nice gain, and again, another first down. Good tackle by Tavier Thomas, but good catch by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Will be 1st and 10 at the 21.
Yes, what you saw there was Case Keenum. He's looking at that deep route. He's considering the deep route. He was going for it all, and he had the know-it-all to say, we only need a couple for the first down. Let's take what they give us. He checked down to the Donovan Peoples-Jones right there for the first.
Keenum in an empty set, looking, firing low, sliding catch through the hands. It looked like of Hollywood Higgins as that ball was a little bit low there. The Browns in that empty set, and Denzel Ward with good coverage on that play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 22 for the Browns.
What you did see was him Hollywood covered up against Warden of the North, but you see this Keenum threw the ball. So if Hollywood couldn't get it, nobody could get it, and that's why it was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it was good. Go down if you get it. We pick up 4 yards, but that's the first play where the Browns offense didn't gain positive yards on this entire drive. It has been a good one. Keenum in shotgun, sending the receiver across formation. Looks like Donovan Peoples-Jones there. He's got Benny LeMay with him, who picks up the blitz, throws, and it is caught on the sideline. And I couldn't tell who that was. I'm going to go right now. Number 10, Taywan Taylor with the catch there from Keenum. And another good ball. Again, quick and decisive, and that was right at the first down marker. A little out there to Taywan Taylor working against Denzel Ward. And it looks like for the Browns it will be about a little bit short. They moved the chains. They brought him back. 3rd and 1 on the 12-yard, on the 13. 3rd and 1 on the 13 there for the Browns as they move those chains back. At first they said yes, Josh, and then they said Keenum in the shotgun on 3rd and 1, dropping back, looking, and he takes off, and there's a lot of room in the middle, slides down at about the 5-yard line. Does Keenum, showing a lot here.
He is looking good right now. This is what you want to see from Baker, though, right? And this is the pressure that Keenum puts on Baker, because next series, Baker, he's looking at how well Keenum is doing right now and saying, you know what, I need to do that. I need to run the offense as smooth as he is doing with the twos. So you see he's running the offense smoothly with the twos against the ones, and they're having some success right now. It's crazy.
Keenum, and he slides it out to D. Ernest Johnson.
Your boy.
And they just walked right down the field, and Johnson into the dog pound to celebrate. Touchdown Browns as Keenum just marches them down the field. D. Ernest Johnson, 3 big plays on that drive, a run of more than 10 yards, a catch of more than 10 yards, and the touchdown. Well-designed play call, got him out into the flat, and Keenum to Johnson, they did the rest. D. Ernest Johnson, a huge drive and a statement-making drive. This is live football. How important are these reps in the evaluation process?
It's very important. You see the pressure's on. They're going about the game as if it's the scrimmage, as if it's a game. Hey, one quarterback is in with his group, the other quarterback is in with his group. If he doesn't convert with first downs, hey, this guy gets out, they punt, live punt, and you see the difference between the two. You would like to see them flip. However, I like this. I like the way Case is playing right now. Baker has got to step up, and if you see what's going on with the ones right now, the defense needs to pick up. The one defense needs to pick it up. I'm not so sure it's all Case Keenum just having good. There are some blown coverages that you guys aren't seeing right now, but Case Keenum, he's running the offense smoothly. He's going through his progressions, and he's making the proper reads. This is what I want to see from Baker, and I also want to see that number 1 defense kind of step it up a little bit, because right now Case Keenum is having his way with him.
Yeah, he is. He is like a surgeon moving him down the field, but to be fair, no Myles Garrett today.
Right.
No Mac Wilson, we know that. No Grant Delpit, we know that. But also your corners, no Greedy, no MJ Stewart, no Cover Johnson, no B.J. Goodson out there today as well. So it's kind of a hybrid first and second unit. Listen, the first team offense went 3 and out. There's no controversy here. We know this is Baker's team, and we know in Case Keenum, the Browns got a backup quarterback that is certainly competent. I mean, the guy took the Vikings to the NFC Championship game in 2017, but certainly I would imagine the ones on both sides will want to get it going, but it kind of shows the dangers of, you start off with an incompletion, then a short run, and then you end up in 3rd and long. You have the penalty, and that ends up being a 3 and out. Now they get another opportunity with the ball.
And we're only talking about the first 2 drives, and
of course,
and you see, you want the excitement, and we're excited to bring this information to you and how well Case Keenum has done so far. Just 2 drives in, Baker only had 1. He starts his 2nd drive coming up. You want to see the defense, the number 1 defense, play a little better. You want to see the number 1 offense play a little better. So it's some good things happening right now on both sides of the football, from the ones and the twos.
And here will be the second opportunity for your first team offense, as it would be 14-0 right now. And Keenum and that group getting it done in the early going. 2 big drives. The first, to recap, saw Keenum find David Njoku down the seam for about 50 or 60 yards. And then on 3rd and goal, found Damian Ratley for the touchdown. That second drive, they just moved it down. Boom, 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 boom. D. Ernest Johnson, the star, had the big run, the big catch, and the touchdown reception as well. Now Baker Mayfield leading the first team offense onto the field here, and he is starting off under center. Little play action boot to the right. He's looking, and he's looking, still looking. Plenty of time in the pocket, plenty of time. And he's going to take off down the right side and pick up a couple of yards there for the Browns as they started around the 30. Looked like about a 3-yard gain for Mayfield on first down. Nobody open. Great job, though. One of the things you're looking at is this offensive line. 2 rookies out there, Wills, and, of course, in the middle, Nick Harris. And yet they did a good job, gave him tons of time. Just nobody was open. That was one of those kind of max protect shot plays as you see the fullback still in there, and you see Harrison Bryant blocking as well. Not full complement of guys out there. It doesn't look like Austin Hooper participating in any of this live period yet, but both receivers certainly are out there for the Browns. Harrison Bryant goes in motion behind Mayfield, who's under center. Second down, play action again, looking, slides it out to Janovich, who breaks a tackle, and that's what Andy Janovich does, as in pursuit there, unable to make the tackle, was the linebacker, looks like Willie Harvey, and that was a nice little play right there to Andy Janovich. And Janovich, what's that stat? 10 yards a catch. He does it again, picks up the first down, and now the Browns have it 1st and 10 at their own 43.
You already see the differences in the 2 quarterbacks. Baker is is more comfortable with play action and staying on the moves with the boots as opposed to Keenum. He loves to stand in the pocket surrounded by his guys. A lot of timing routes, moving the ball down.
Bryant in motion again pre-snap. Mayfield under center. Quick 3-step drop and out to the Chief, David Njoku. Stiff arm fighting his way down for a first down. And the Chief is having a very strong start here to this scrimmage portion. He had the big catch with Case Keenum, and David Njoku with a nice catch and then run. The stiff arm picking up the first down there.
This is what I've been wanting to see from David Njoku all training camp. It's like, where has he been? And I'm glad to see that he's the big 50-yard play with Case Keenum out there. Now he's in with the ones. He's looking good right now as your tight end.
I think the demise of David Njoku was greatly exaggerated. This is an incredibly talented guy. A little trickery there as they get direct snap it back to Baker. And that play did not go the way the Browns would have wanted it to as they tried a little razzle-dazzle, Josh.
Yes, they tried it, and at some point you have to have those fail-safes in. If the defense is in the right coverage, if they play the ball correctly, hey, we got to know right away to abort. And I think right there Jarvis will have to abort that and just either throw it away or run it instead of throwing it back to your quarterback.
Yes, indeed, as the Browns take a loss on that one, and they go back now to 2nd down, and they say 2nd and 10 here from their own 43. Mayfield in the shotgun with an empty set as they've spread everybody out around him. See Willie Harvey there on defense. Kendall Lamb in at right tackle next to Wyatt Teller. Mayfield looks, pumps, throws, and slings it into Harrison Bryant. Harvey with the tackle up to about midfield, and it'll be 3rd down and about 4 for the Browns' first-team offense. 3rd and 4 after that pass complete from Mayfield to Harrison Bryant.
I saw somebody run past him. I'm not sure.
McCray came off the edge.
I'm not sure if he was getting pushed past or if he let off because Baker and Case is still wearing those orange "Don't Hit Me" jerseys.
That's one that you would only know in the game situation. They didn't blow it dead as a sack as McCray came around that right side against Jedrick Wills. Mayfield in the shotgun, sends man in motion, top of his drop. Ball is out, crisp, and he's got a man wide open. That's Damian Ratley. And Ratley gets all the way down to about the 19-yard line before Javonte Moffitt pushes him out of bounds. Another nice catch for Damian Ratley.
This is the type of ball movement, receptions that you want from your first team, especially seeing these guys who haven't been practicing in this scrimmage right now. Ratley has been quiet all training camp because he's been injured off the field, and Njoku's been quiet, but today they're all over the place. Both offenses working in, catching the ball, allowing Baker to move the ball down the field. And this is what you want to see. This is what you want to see from your first offense in Baker Mayfield.
In the red zone now at about the 18-yard line, Mayfield with a end around to JoJo Natson. Good job by Malcolm Smith. The veteran was not fooled and was able to get Natson there and stop that play as he was able to wiggle off the block of the wide receiver and make the tackle on Natson. That's why Malcolm Smith's here. He's seen a lot of things. That looked like a toss to the right when it was the receiver end around, and it was Smith getting off the block of Harrison Bryant making the tackle, and it will be 2nd down and about 11 or 12, I would say, for the Browns, who now are backed up at their own on the 20. Still in the red zone here, but this is where you want to see them convert and come through like they did early in practice. Mayfield in the shotgun. Takes it back, straight drop, fires, out to the left side, and that's complete to Odell Beckham Jr., and that will be 1st and goal for the Browns at the 8-yard line.
I like the footwork by Baker here. He sees the guy coming open. He immediately, baseball turn, fires the ball right to Odell. Odell sticks it out for the first, getting out of bounds. But this is what we see, moving the ball down. This is what I would have hoped to see in the first drive. We don't have to warm up. Let's not warm up. Let's get started right away with the drive like this, like similar to what Keenum had. We got to start faster next time, but I'm glad to see it right now.
Listen, I think all things considered, if this drive ends in a touchdown, if you scored 3 of your 4 possessions on the offensive side, you're very happy. On the defensive side, probably not. They called it 3rd and 2. Mayfield looking, sliding, firing, and throws it away, and it'll either be 4th and 2 or they're going to send the field goal unit on here, and it looks like it'll be 4th and 2. I think Odell was at the 8. That's just from my eye in the sky vantage point, but Baker, they were looking for something 3rd and 2. Nothing was there, and now they're going to have to try convert. And this is what you like to see, a pressure situation, 4th and 2 for Mayfield and this offense right now. As you see Brad Mellon presiding over the down and distance situation. Where do you go? They're going empty set. Everybody's out there. Beckham to the right, and he waves Kareem Hunt back into the backfield, probably counting the numbers here, saying have a check for an inside handoff if they want it, or account for the blitz. Mayfield back, ball out quickly, and it's caught by the Chief, and I believe he's down to about the 1-yard line. David Njoku, a nice day, and welcome back, Chief. We've missed you, the wrist injury, no signs of it now, as the Chief made some big catches, a 3rd down and now a 4th down catch to extend the drive.
I was excited that they extended the drive, that they decided to go for it on their 4th and short.
And here they are. You got Kareem Hunt. You give it to him, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Browns. And that was the drive you wanted to see as they answered the call, and they convert on the 4th down, get it down near the goal line, and Kareem Hunt punches it in for the score.
Yes, and you said it, Nathan. Say that he has 4 drives. 3 out of the 4 drives scoring. Not a bad day. A kind of a day you can kind of emulate for a season. At the same time, I'm going to be critical of this team. You know, they deserve the criticality of the fans and everyone, but you want to see that every single time. How can I not? As a fan and as a former player, I want them to score every time.
Of course you do. And to be fair, the defense certainly missing more pieces than the Browns offense out there today, but a good showing. Baker Mayfield in that offense answering, getting right down there with the Kareem Hunt touchdown. Nice catches by Ratley, by Njoku, and by Odell Beckham Jr. on that drive. We'll get you back onto the field, bring you back to First Energy Stadium when Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals returns.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack, and every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at university hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Snapple apple tastes like apple.
And we dance the same too. And 1 and 2, yo, shake, now stomp. Put it in the basket.
Now let's cobbler.
And cobbler. And cobbler.
Tastes just like fruit, but Snapple. Tastes like a perfect peach. It keeps on peaching. Tastes just like fruit, but Snapple.
The Cleveland Metropolitan School District and Cleveland Browns Foundation have learned a lot together in our Get to School campaign, and that's led to the Browns Foundation's efforts to spread this work statewide, creating the Get to School, Stay in the Game network here in Ohio. It's going to have impact not only in Cleveland and other urban cities, but in communities across Ohio where attendance matters for every single student. The Cleveland Browns Foundation has also helped inspire other partners, including radio and television media partners, and partners like the Arby's Foundation, which has provided 60,000 meal coupons or over 600,000 meals as incentives for students who have come to school, and who most recently provided 520 of our students free internet access for a year to help address the digital divide we have here in Cleveland. We know in Ohio that if you are chronically absent, missing more than 18 days in a year, you are 89% less likely to graduate on time. So get to school, stay in the game. That's how we're going to improve education in Cleveland and in Ohio with the Cleveland Browns Foundation.
I can catch that. Pass you. You see my highlight tape yet?
Welcome back to Browns Live, presented by University Hospitals. Time now for our play of the day, and this from the opening session down near the goal line. It was Baker Mayfield to Odell Beckham Jr., the first touchdown of the day here at First Energy Stadium in the new unis. And boy, was it sweet there. Baker Mayfield to Odell Beckham Jr., our play of the day. And there it is, once again, the beautiful toe tap and the nice throw from Baker Mayfield. As we go back down to the field here at First Energy Stadium, the Browns continuing this scrimmage, this good action, Josh, that we've seen. And Case Keenum, he has been sharp thus far and started off another drive right there. Looked like a pass to Pharaoh Brown up the right side as they move out towards midfield. Does Case Keenum and this second team offense. They have 1st and 10 at the 48. So they got a nice play there, a chunk play on that one. It was Keenum on a pass to Pharaoh Brown up the right side. Keenum leading the second team back out. Steve Carlson in motion. Hand off goes to the left side, and a nice running lane there for Dontrell Hilliard, who winds his way off of the tackle and picks up about 7 down to the 45. And this second team unit has had chunk plays. It has had good running. They have looked very, very sharp right now against the Browns starting defense, and you'd like to see this defense, honestly, step up and make a stand here.
Yes, and you took the words right out of my mouth. This is the point where I want to see the defense kind of get a hold of things, start making plays, start running a little blitzes right now, mix it up for Case Keenum because he's having a lot of success against them.
About 2nd and about 6 for Keenum here, and he hands off once again to Hilliard out the right side. And so we're not in a live period anymore, not full tackling, so they're going to more do of a touch-up. But, man, was it fun to see that one quarter. And Hilliard, good job by the defense. You wanted to see them step up a little bit there, and they certainly did. About a 3-yard loss there on that play, blown up by Sheldon Richardson.
We'd like to see more and more this defensive front command the front offense like we see. They have to get back in the backfield. They have to do these things. We have a lot of young guys that's trying to fight for spots. You want to see them in the backfield, tackling these running backs, making the most out of their opportunities.
Browns showing a blitz up the middle, 3rd and 8. Keenum drops back, fires, looking for Jamon Moore. Money Mitch with great coverage, and there it is. That was the defensive stop. They gave up the big play on the first down to Pharaoh Brown up to midfield, and then they came back and they stopped them. 3 straight plays, yes. 3 and out, and now you get the ball back down 14-7 does Baker Mayfield. Nathan Zagura alongside Browns legend Josh Cribbs welcoming you, inviting you in to First Energy Stadium, and we got to see 15 minutes a second ago of real Browns football, full tackle
yes.
to the ground. We're not full tackling anymore, but we're still seeing game situations, the crowd, the atmosphere, the sounds, all there. See the Scottish Hammer drop one from midfield, trying to place one and pin Donovan Peoples-Jones back. And he drops it just inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line where D. Ernest Johnson covers it. The Hammer probably said, I probably could have got that about 10 yards down inside the 10.
Yes, I was excited to see the Browns' first defense actually make a stop on Case Keenum. He's drove the ball down the field 2 times in a row, 2 consecutive drives down the field. You see our guy Money Mitch coming up big with the pass deflection, making sure if you're not going to run down the field on us all the time, I'm wanting to see the defense mix it up a little bit, mix up the calls on Case Keenum. Don't allow him such an easy go at it running down the field.
Again, the Browns not in a full tackling period now. Austin Hooper checking in for the first time we've seen him in this scrimmage with Odell and Jarvis. Nick Chubb in the backfield, and it's Mayfield play action to Chubb. Ripping it to the outside for Odell Beckham Jr., who had broken free from Donovan Alumba, but the ball a little high on that one from Mayfield.
The way he threw it, it seemed like it was going to be a completion, and you talked about that. When he comes out of his play fakes on that play action, he comes out with perfect timing. You can almost set your clock by that it's going to be a completion. So it was kind of not excited to see that it wasn't caught on that one.
Yeah, a little high for Mayfield there, but a good route by Odell, who had gotten open. Mayfield under center on 2nd and 10, and a hand off the right side to Nick Chubb, who bursts through the hole, makes a cut, and they'll say he's down at the 30, but that would have been a very difficult tackle when he crossed back over at the 30-yard line. But you saw the explosiveness, the burst right there, Josh.
Definitely, and you saw him in previous games. Hey, against the Ravens, break through multiple hand tackles, multiple tackles where the defender is not in a good position to make a play and get more yards after contact. That's what he's known for. And so you would like to see a guy like Nick Chubb have some early success running the football.
And Chubb certainly looked good, and that's why this zone scheme, you saw them get the line moving, get the defensive lineman moving horizontally, and as soon as he puts his foot in the ground, as they pitch it out, and there's Jedrick Wills paving the way, and Chubb with another nice pickup around the left side of about 10 more yards out to about the 40-yard line for this offensive group. And how about Jedrick Wills getting out in front there on the toss, showing his athleticism.
Yes, a lot of times it's defeating for a defense to have such a convoy with a good runner like Chubb, to have such a convoy and pick up so many yards play after play. It's kind of defeating for the defense because that opens up the play action. I wouldn't be surprised right now if you see some type of play action fake from your quarterback.
Mayfield under center. He's got in the backfield, he's got Kareem Hunt, a double play fake and a screen over to Hunt, and he's got a blocker in front of him. Waits, look at the patience to set that up. He gets it down to about the other 40, a pickup of about 20 yards. And that's what a veteran does.
Yes.
You were a master at this on those kick returns we watched.
Yes, and you wanted to see some great things from your first offense. Not just them, but the dynamic duo between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt right here as he selects and moves in and out of tackle positions and find his way down the football field for another first down. What it seems like this offense now is clicking. This is what we're talking about. We needed to see, and you're seeing it before our eyes right now.
And you loved that screen. There was a fake on the handoff, then a fake on the end around, and then you dropped it back to Hunt there as Mayfield play action comes out, rips it quickly to Odell Beckham Jr. for the catch, right down to about the 30.
Yes,
about the 30-yard line, 29-yard line. Another first down. Sheldrick Redwine right in coverage, and this offense now starting to get it going. The two big runs by Chubb and then the screen to Hunt for 20, and now they're cooking. That's basically 4 straight plays of about 10 yards. 1st and 10 for the Browns at about the 29-yard line. Mayfield turns, play fake, gets it out. There's Austin Hooper in the flat as he gains about 6 or 7 on first down to the 22. And this is such a rhythm offense, isn't it?
Yes,
we're really seeing that.
It's in more rhythm right now. As you can see, I'm almost saying to myself, like, why didn't we see that in that first drive? And I keep going back to it.
It's just a 3 and out. It happens, right.
And again, I'm being critical of them. And you see how easily they're moving the ball down the field. And you see how just the fact that they're handing the ball off to Kareem and Nick has opened up the passing game tremendously for this first offense.
2nd and 6 for the Browns at the 22, and the give to Chubb off the right side. He's got room. Jarvis blocking ahead of him before the defense able to come up and get him. And that was one that looked like it was going to be bigger, but a good job by the defense to flow over there and make the tackle. Solomon Ajayi getting over there and thudding up with Chubb. But that is another Browns first down, and they are in the red zone at the 17. Chubb's running very well on this drive.
They both are. When you look at how he hands the ball off to them, they're being able to run the ball downhill, some quick toss plays, and then they come back with a screen. They're mixing it up. They're doing more offensively now with both running backs, still keeping their guys happy in the outside with Odell and the rest.
Mayfield in the shotgun, scrambling, looking, and that will be a sack as he had nowhere to go with the ball, and a good job by the defense getting in there. Looked like Robert McCray, Daniel Akwale as well in the backfield, and that'll back them up to the 31, about a 10-yard loss, 11-yard loss. It will be 2nd down and 21 for the Browns, back at around their own 27-yard line there. And That was breaking up the rhythm. You had the good rhythm going. Now you're behind the sticks on first down. You lose 11. Still in field goal range, but now back out of the red zone, and you probably want to try to get yourself into a third and manageable here.
Yes, and you see them moving the ball around. That's one thing that you can see. Everybody's touching that football. Everybody, both running backs, a host of receivers, they're all getting the rock.
Mayfield in the shotgun with Nick Chubb off of his right hip, takes the snap. Pressure off the left side. That was Jordan Elliott, and I'm pretty sure they're going to blow that one dead before he got it out there to Austin Hooper. We'll see what the final decision will be, but Jordan Elliott was in the backfield right near Baker Mayfield. Mayfield stepped up, had a nice pass down to Jordan Elliott, and they'll give that one to the offense as they get it down to about the 7, making it 3rd and 1 for the Browns offense as they got it down there, got it back. That's one, if we were in the live period, you still wouldn't have known because we're not hitting the quarterbacks.
Right, and I think it was a good decision to kind of taper back. They did have first 2 drives of live contact. Now you see them, again, it's more of a mental game, but guys are still getting hit out there between the trenches.
3rd and 1 for this offense. Mayfield in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking, and that one will be a sack. Porter Gustin getting around Jedrick Wills. And that's, right there on those quick design plays, the protection you expected the ball to be out quick, and sometimes the guys are able to get around there. That's Baker was looking, first read wasn't there, and the field goal unit will have to come onto the field, and it'll be Austin Seibert from 35 yards out on the right hash.
Yes, multiple times during this drive, you've seen excellent play from the defensive line. They've noticed that the running game has picked up, so they're stepping up their pass rush. They're making certain rip moves and doing stunts in the middle to get back to the quarterback.
And Seibert's kick is up, and it is good. So another positive drive for the first-team offense. They've scored 10 points on their last 2 possessions, and we've seen 14-10 about where we're at now. So 3 touchdowns and a field goal on so far 6 offensive possessions between the first and second team offense.
Yes, I like what I'm seeing. If I can be critical of them and say, hey, we want to see touchdowns from your first team all throughout the drives, every time they step out on the field, but you're seeing good things from the defense side of too. We saw that from Case Keenum coming back out there after scoring his first 2 drives, and then the first defense stepping up with Money Mitch being able to knock down the ball and make that second team have to punt. Baker Mayfield still had some success driving the ball down, and that came from just handoffs, giving the ball to Chubb, letting Kareem run, a pass to Hooper, a couple passes to Hooper, OBJ, but still stalled out from an excited, aggressive defensive front.
Absolutely. See Keenum warming up on the sideline, getting ready to come back in. They've got 6 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, so probably maybe enough time to see one more possession on each side there. But the defenses, you mentioned, both of them gave up some yards but did a good job of stiffening up and holding them. In one case, getting them to punt the football as Money Mitch, as you said, had that great coverage on the 3rd down, and then Porter Gustin with the sack. And Gustin, again, really kind of putting himself in a position you would think to make this football team at that defensive end room as he got around Jedrick Wills for the sack to end that drive. Austin Seibert sending it underway after the Browns have scored on back-to-back possessions led by Baker Mayfield. This one taken at about the 10 by Dontrell Hilliard, and they will send Case Keenum in that second-team offense to open this possession at about, it looks like, at about the 30. Kevin Stefanski blowing the horn there and bringing everybody together. It sounds like he's barking out some instructions to the players on the field as the Browns look to kind of, I think, wrap up what has been a very good practice, a very crisp practice. He's turning them around, and he's saying we're giving them the ball here at about 1st and 10 at the 35. So Coach Stefanski has said we're not going the whole field. We're turning around. You're starting with the ball at the 35-yard line is Case Keenum. And, again, it'll be that second-team offense now against what looks like the first-team defense, and Chad Thomas out there. But Porter Gustin with a nice sack to end that last drive. He and Thomas have really in a nice battle for that 4th defensive end spot behind Myles Garrett, Vernon, and Adrian Claiborne. And
yes,
the guys in battles today. Think about it. Ratley's been in a battle. He's stepped up. The running backs, Hilliard and Johnson, have both looked good, especially Dearness. And everywhere there's that competition, guys are really starting to step up.
And that's what you want to see. Everywhere there's a competition at the wide receiver battle, battle, and like you said, with Ratley, and at the tight end position, and Njoku, who's good to see him out here, especially under Case Keenum, being able to get in there and catch a long pass, then move up to the ones and Baker in the next drive and continue to do well. But that defensive line, that battle continues, and you don't know who's going to win the spot.
Keenum sets up a little screen pass out to Dearness Johnson. You see him take off, and he got just tripped up there after what looks like they're in a hurry-up mode here. So it's a hurry-up mode from the 35, and Johnson getting 8 on first down on that screen as they hustle the ball. Keenum in the shotgun takes the snap. He's looking to the right, fires down the middle to Steve Carlson down to about the 7. Great ball, great anticipatory throw as he saw Carlson kind of angle out to the corner, bring it back right down to the post, and ripped it in there.
He did. He's moving the offense completely down the field. He's utilizing those tight ends, moving the ball pretty good. As one thing he does very well is move through his progressions. If the primary receivers aren't open, he doesn't mind doing that check down, hitting those running backs quickly to keep them moving. And that's one thing that I want to see from Baker. I saw that early in training camp, and that was one of my notes from Baker, is that he's progressed to hitting that check down more often. But it's exciting to see your number 2 guy progress this much, Case Keenum, against the 1 defense.
Yeah, nice little throw to stiff arm Steve Carlson down there, 1st and goal at the 6 now, and they're going through the timeouts, and they brought the carts on the field to simulate everything as they would in a game. Little false start there from Alex Taylor, the left tackle, will back him up to the 11, where it'll be 1st and goal from the 11 for Case Keenum. You see the guys rally around Taylor and say, it's all right, we got to lock in here. And those 5 yards at that part of the field, obviously huge. Case Keenum seeing if he can overcome that. It'll be 1st and goal from the 11. And Keenum really, he has been sharp. Both offenses, I think, have been sharp, especially Keenum, though, just in sync, very calm, methodical, bringing him down here. He's got Dearness Johnson off his left hip in the shotgun. Keenum with a little hand signal out there to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he looks the rookie's way, comes back to the right for Carlson. Good coverage from Carl Joseph, who would have been, if that ball was accurate, that would have been right there, incomplete. So that's one good by the defense there, and Joseph, who has really had a nice camp in Berea. They've kind of eased him back in, taken every other day off, and they'll call that right there and send out, looks like, switch it around to the starting offense now, and Baker Mayfield coming out as they went through that, and Keenum got the 1 shot there as they got down to the 6, backed it up to the 11, took a shot, and didn't get in timing. So they're going, limiting them in their time in this hurry-up period, and now Baker Mayfield will come out starting 1st and goal at the 10, it looks like.
Yes, Keenum, he threw that pass away. Again, how he worked through his progression. He didn't see it. He felt the pressure from the defense, and he got rid of it. In a perfect situation, he would have been able to complete a ball for a touchdown or a completion, but he threw that away to give it to the go-ahead field goal.
All right, Mayfield alone in the backfield in the shotgun formation. Takes a look at this defense. It has a lot of guys standing right there at the stripe. Mayfield rips one, thrown just behind Donovan Peoples-Jones, and that one is picked off. Javonte Moffitt with the interception, and he was going down, brought it back over 50 yards. It looked like, and we don't know where the miscommunication was, but it looked like Peoples-Jones opened to the inside and was looking for the ball on his right shoulder, and it was back on the left shoulder. I don't know if we can take another look at that one, but Javonte Moffitt with the interception there, and here it is. So Mayfield, pressure off the back end, and he just throws it to the, it looks like to the, either a miscommunication. He expected Peoples to turn one way, or the ball was just inaccurate.
And if you can look at the footage on this and the coach's film on this, you'll want DPJ to work back towards the football. So you saw there was some misconfusion right there where you think he was breaking out. Maybe the quarterback thought this, but you did see DPJ stagnant right there. So you didn't want to end on that note at all.
But it was a good ending note for the defense. And remember, It's a full football team. I know that we like to put our offensive hats up there as Kevin Stefanski addressing his team now. And we saw great work. We'll give you our final thoughts when we return here on Browns Live Training Camp at First Energy Stadium.
Okay, eyes on me. First, we're gonna start Ohio's 529 plan. Tax-free, baby. Pretty soon, we've got another base hit to right field. Oh, but let's say one of us gets a promotion. Oh, now we're at the 30. We're at the 40. With time running down on the clock, we get a grandparent assist, and it's goal!
Ohio's 529 plan is how you win at college savings. Learn more at collegeadvantage.com.
At Discount Drug Mart, we work hard to keep our patients up to date with their immunizations, especially those at high risk.
We take into account our patients' age, medical conditions, and past immunization history.
Immunizations are just as important to your health as diet and exercise, but can be taken care of with just one visit, effectively protecting yourself and your loved ones.
Stop at your local Discount Drug Mart
And see us for an immunization review today.
Discount Drug Mart, your immunization destination.
Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. Browns Fit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for Browns Fits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
All right, taking a look at our photo of the day taken by our very own Matt Starkey. Jarvis Landry addressing the crowd in the Browns' powerful statement on their call to action to enact change in the social justice space. We saw Odell, we saw Larry Ogunjobi, and quarterback Baker Mayfield all speak here today. Very important and powerful stuff. And again, you can check it out at clevelandbrowns.com, the full statement, as well as how you can be the solution. Nathan Segura and Josh Cribbs wrapping it up here on Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals. All right, Josh, we got to see real football at First Energy Stadium. I loved it, loved every second of it. Calling the action with you. This has been a blast, but what stood out to you? What do you take away from today?
Okay, as you look at both offenses, just speaking from an offense standpoint, Case Keenum went 2 for 4 going down the field scoring. One thing that stood out was how effective he ran the offense in those 2 drives. He spread the football around pretty good, hitting the checkdowns when necessary, throwing it away when necessary. And then those last 2 drives, the defense stepped up on him. He still was going through his progressions, but things weren't there. Passes weren't there. Runs weren't there. So the number 1 defense stepped it up after 2 drives. Baker Mayfield only going 1 for 4. He did, however, spread the ball around pretty good. His second drive was still ended in a punt. He still got in there his third drive to score. One thing I noticed from him, spreading the ball around, and they didn't want to end on that interception, but it was good for the defense. The defense was all over the place. They picked it up in droves throughout this scrimmage. They started picking it up. Money Mitch, Taki, guys on the defensive front. So it's some good things and bad things to take from this scrimmage on both sides of the football, from the young guys all the way up to the vets.
Absolutely. I think most importantly, nobody appeared to get injured in any of the live periods as the Browns did tackle to the ground for the first time here at First Energy Stadium. For me, it was very efficient Case Keenum. I thought Baker Mayfield and that offense really got going, especially with Nick Chubb on the ground. Kareem Hunt looked good. But I'll tell you, standing out to me, David Njoku had a great day out here, and it was great to see the Chief back. Had some huge catches working with both the first and second team offenses. And then some guys in battles I thought really stood out. D'Ernest Johnson, a tremendous day. big run, big catch, and the touchdown catch on that second drive led by Case Keenum that resulted in a touchdown. Damian Ratley scored on the first drive and also had a big, about 30-yard catch from Baker Mayfield. Porter Gustin coming up with a big sack as you see him putting in some extra running there as he battles to make this team. So competition, stepping up, all of that. You hope this Browns now 2 weeks away, we can get those guys back on defense because certainly a lot of guys missing on defense, but it was good to see some real football. And again, everybody stayed healthy, but we saw, I think, a glimpse into what this offense can be, Josh.
Definitely. I was excited to see guys like Njoku, guys like Damian Ratley hit the field in full stride. Like, where were they at? Were they practicing in the indoor? Because the way they hit the field, the way they caught passes down the field, scoring drives, the way they got in there and didn't miss a beat, the offenses didn't miss a beat, the one or the two. I was excited to see that. D'Ernest Johnson stepping up for his team in that battle. He had a heck of a day. I might say he's winning that battle in my eyes. And that defensive line, they're moving, and your two guys, your running back duo, they're not disappointing at all.
No.
Anytime they're in the game, whether it be downhill runs, sweeps, passes out the backfield, they're all over the place having some success. So I'm excited to see that as it relates to your defense and your offense, and the number one defense did pick it up as the scrimmage went on.
No doubt. But this offense, you can just tell when it gets into that rhythm with that outside zone, it has a chance to be very special. And we certainly got a taste of that here today. Want to thank you guys, as always, for being with us, for our great crew. Drew Davidson, Paul Taylor, Rob Conroy, Josh Cribbs. I'm Nathan Zagura saying we'll see you on Friday for another edition of Browns Live Training Camp presented by University Hospitals.